Praying for a non-cameo from a dog this evening. Oh, it's Friday. Helen for Youth at Studio. Doing a Friday thing. I've decided to buck the trend of having my hair up, put it back down. Hey, Mel. Oh, God. There we go. Dismount of a dog. Hi, Kate. And Sean. Woo! I put my hair back down because No, Mel, please. Oh, no, I've just look. See, it's back to where it was. I've just put it down, Mel, because I washed it. Bav, hey, hey, Bav. I'm like this. Mel just thought I got my hair cut, Bav. Thank you. All right. Judgy. I think it looks. Oh. Heather. Hey. Hi. Hi, Bav. Good wave. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. It's Friday. It's got that Friday tea feeling. Ooh. Mmm. Tastes like Friday. It's got gin in it. No, it hasn't. Tastes like pure joy. Tastes like the weekend. So no, I've not had my hair cut. Thank you though for your consideration. I think during this I'm going to get annoyed with it, and I've not even got a hairband. Look. No, Mel. No haircut. No haircut for me. Hope everyone's good on this beautiful. It's nice, isn't it? Friday evening. So it's on consistency, and my consistency is the key, the secret. Insert song there. I've been singing that in the head now, haven't I? I got the key. Right, how's it going to do this? As normal, going to go through a definition of what consistency is, as I see it. What it actually equates to. I just can't put my tea down. In terms of journey. Why don't we do it all the time? How do people actually stay consistent? And where do you go to start building it, or where's your start position when it comes to consistency? So that's how it's going to go. As normal, if you just want to get involved. Other than commentating about my hair, let's just let this be. I also got a massive scratch on my face for no apparent reason. Lockdown's going mad. Starting to get damage on my face there. Oh yeah. Right. On with the show then. Right, consistency, what is it? It is something, right, that actually stays the same over and over again, right? So we're talking about consistency. What's interesting is that how do we create change overall if we're doing something that's the same all the time, so over and over? And yet, like I said at the top, consistency is the key. So how does it become the key, right, the secret, if we're doing the same thing again and again? How does that create change? Well, the idea is it's maintaining a behaviour. So consistency around a behaviour that creates an outcome, okay? So consistency, like doing the same thing over and over again, you think, well, then things stay the same, no? No, they do not. By doing the same action over and over again, you're creating a behaviour. And each behaviour that we have in life, that we talked about before, hey Jazz Lad, has an outcome. So every behaviour that we have in our lives has an outcome. And we are creatures of habit, right? Habit and behaviour are the same thing. So whatever your habit is that you do every day, it has an outcome. And what we're looking for in terms of consistency, if we're looking for a health and fitness goal, what we're looking for is a repeated act of a consistent behaviour that gives us a positive outcome, or an outcome that's supportive towards a goal, whatever you want to do, right? Previously, I've talked about habits or behaviours that are anything in life, right? Like getting out of bed in the morning's a habit, right? It's a consistent behaviour. We all get up, I hope, at this point, all get out of bed on a daily basis, and that is a consistent behaviour, or a consistent Consistently dealing with dogs. I just said just 5 minutes ago, shut the dogs out. Oh no, well if everyone's finished now. No, they haven't. Just a moment when I heard dogs. Right. There we go. So there's a consistent behaviour for me. Learning to shut the dogs out. So where was I? So we all have behaviours which in the day that build towards, I'm off track now, build towards a positive outcome. So behavioural habit we have on a daily basis is to get out of bed, set an alarm, get out of bed, go to work and or start our days. Now that is a consistent behaviour that we have that gives us a positive outcome, as in doing stuff. Likewise, set any behaviour and pattern towards a health goal, like training. Hey Ruby, training every day, or hey Nazreen, or doing food consistently. That each of those behaviours build towards a positive outcome that we want in a life goal, such as losing weight or feeling better, more energy, even sleeping better, better mental state, etc. All these things that we do on a daily basis have a outcome in a positive way if done consistently as regularly, so the same way all the time. So why is it then and this is my thought process on this, so as normal I'm sure people have their own ideas of why it doesn't happen all the time for everybody, in terms of why don't we stay consistent then? Why don't we stay consistent in all our behaviours or habits when it comes to health and fitness? I think if you want to give me an answer now, it's cool. From my point of view, this is the truth. It's one of those true moments where you can beat around the bush or just call a spade a spade. They're just boring, aren't they? It's just kind of what it is. Sometimes we just get bored. We get bored of doing the same thing day in, day out, when we're not seeing, boredom. Boredom. Kate, I'm not sure what that is. Isn't that somewhere in Turkey? Or is that Bodrum? Boredom, Kate, I agree. For me, it's boredom. It's boring, isn't it? Sometimes. Boring getting out Tupperware boxes day in, day out, and boring defrosting chicken, or boring like getting on the bike for the millionth time. It's boring dealing with lockdown. It is though, isn't it? But it's boring, isn't it? The repetitive nature of consistency just gets boring. Now, you do it because you're doing the same action over and over again, right? Over and over again, and it's like it's a brilliant analogy. Quite a few coaches talk about this, and I agree. It's like the person who doesn't want to train, right? So training is boring, and look in the mirror every day and not seeing a change. Guess what? Because looking every day in the mirror, right? It's the same thing with getting bored with most of our habits and consistency. We don't see a change every day, so we're not necessarily motivated to do it every day. Now, okay, Kate's come in with Bodrum, however, and I agree, Turkey or otherwise. Now, sip of my gin. Oh, if it seems like when you want to say, oh, well, what's the solution then? Right? How is it that people don't get bored? How is it those people out there that do it day in, day out? What do they do? How do they do it every day? Like, there's people that do the Met class all the way through lockdown. I've been there 3 months. I don't know how they're doing it. It's done. Oh, how? How does someone do it day in, day out? And when we say that boredom is a key, because it's the truth. We get bored. Everyone gets bored. You think, oh, well, it's easy then. Just make it exciting all the time. What are we going to do? Throw some bells and whistles on it? That's not the truth. But equally, as true as it is that we get bored with consistency, because we do, it's boring, right? Oh, what are we going to do? Make it exciting. Throw a firework in there while you train. That's exciting. Well, that makes it different. That makes it definitely exciting. I'll just throw a rocket in. Catherine wheel. I'm doing a squat over a Catherine wheel. That's exciting. Yeah, all right. Let's do that. Let's play some funky house music and let's put some smoke machines on. Whoa, yeah. Now that's not real life. So when people say to you, oh, I'm going to change it up, I'm going to change it up. Yeah, I'm going to do something different, Han. Yeah, it's time. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, Can you remain consistent with it? Yes. Roll on a week. Oh yeah, no, I didn't do it. I got bored. I always say you got bored. Isn't that the funniest thing though? How often is it that we actually admit, we actually admit that we get bored? I don't think any client ever has actually said to me, legitimately, honestly, Helen, I tried over attempt. I just got flaming bored. In my time as a coach, zero have come up with the thought process themselves and said, yeah, Helen, I was just bored me shitless. I just didn't want to do it. Bored. No, we come up with a reason, as in, the time. It wasn't good with the time. Yeah, it was the time of the day. Oh, yeah, the kids interrupted. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I stayed up late. Or work. Oh, work was late. Oh yeah, those all reasons. Or the underlying, if I think honestly, the underlying issue is often people get bored, so they don't want to do it over anything else. They'd rather do something else than do it. That's the truth. Most people rather do something else most of the time when it comes to it. So what is the difference then? Like, if any of you've watched, if you haven't, comes out in Hemma's interview. Hemma is one of the members. If you're not a member, she did a interview with Sam on Sunday night. And what is it that creates someone who's consistent with their behaviours or habits? This is legitimately it. Now, it's earth-shattering, this one. Bear with. It's a hardcore secret squirrel. Total, like, elite athlete secret I'm giving you here. They suck up the boredom. Suck it up. Some people have... Well, not some people. Well, the people who are successful, if you listen to Emma's interview, she says it. Some days, I don't want to come to the gym. Don't want to do it. Most times, have an argument with ourselves to do something, to remain consistent with something. There's an internal argument in the moment, right? There's a moment where somebody has to have a fight with themselves. Hey, Daksha, to do something or not do something. And there's an acknowledgement that the repetitive nature of an action can be literally boring. However, the long-term outcome of something is hugely successful. So this is where the difference between somebody who can suck up the boredom and someone who doesn't remain consistent. So the person that can suck up the boredom is someone that can recognise that they're not going to see a result in the mirror daily. People who suck up boredom know that they're not going to see a result in the mirror if they look every other day or every third or fourth day. They accept that for them to see long-term change, it's long-term. So they won't expect to see instant gratification. They won't expect it. They won't think they earn it by doing one workout in one day and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. They know it's a cycle of repeat, and then eventually see it. And they trust in the own process of that consistent behaviour because they know it has a positive impact long term. And that's why in the moment when they choose whether or not to do something, there's no secret this. When they choose not to do something, they tell themselves, remind themselves of the long-term benefit, the value of being bored almost. Which is true, right? It doesn't tell me, she says it in her interview. She says sometimes, I don't want to do it. I know I have to. I don't have a choice. I have to do it because long-term it'll benefit me. And she's been working at it for a while, that girl, quite a few years. Now, even myself, even when I was going through the journey, like... Whew, some days you just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I did it because I knew I had to trust in the process of repeated behaviours to give me that outcome. And that's where, if anybody's struggling with consistency, that's where it falls if you get bored with the behaviour. But the reality is, and something like, okay, change the behaviour. It's like, and I'd argue no. I'd argue no, you don't change the behaviour. Because it's like, someone says to me, yeah, I'm bored with training. I don't want to train. What would I say to them as a coach to a client? Oh, let's just stop training. Let's try something else. I don't know. Tapping your foot 1,000 times a day and see if it burns anything. No, I'm going to say, okay, let's partly, okay, admittedly, I might change a program if they've had a program for about 4 years. Yes, of course. I might say, let's try a Met class over a strength class. Yes, of course. If someone says to me entirely the whole business of exercise is boring, yeah, I'm not into it. I'm going to say, well, you and I both know the long-term benefits of exercise are a millionfold. But certainly in this situation, like in a whole world situation, is preventative exercise better for health overall? Damn straight. I'm not going to say, let's not do that entirely then. What I'm going to say is find a way to suck up your boredom and get it done. And get it done. Why? Because the benefit's there when you've got to get yourself into the behaviour and the habit. Partly is, and I was listening to Tony Robbins on Wednesday this week, an early morning walk, and he was saying about this experiment. Now, it's not a very nice experiment, I'm going to say this, and he says as well, it's not very nice, although it says a lot about behaviours of people or habits. So he talks about how there's a study where they get a monkey. Monkey's basically has a hand controlled on the table, so the hand is bound to the table. And what somebody does, I mean, I don't even know who thought of this. What somebody does is sit in front of that monkey and move one of the monkey's fingers up and down 10,000 times. I mean, firstly, I can't count to 4 without struggling. So somebody does this 10,000 times. So they move this monkey's finger 10,000 times. And guess what happens when they unchain the monkey from the table and take the hand off? The monkey just does that. No sense of anything. Doesn't know how to stop doing it. Just does it without thinking. Just does it. Walks around doing that. Now, whilst that is a horrific experiment, I'm not suggesting you do that to yourself or anybody else. What it says, though, is human behaviours and patterns of brain's behaviours is that if we do something enough, repeatedly, enough times as a human being, it becomes something that doesn't become boring. It becomes something that just happens. And the thing is that often, as people, we don't push ourselves past the level of boredom to actually just make it inbuilt. Because it's easier for us to quit. It's a lot easy to just quit and go, no, it's simple. That's boring. No, I don't want to do it. That's easy. That's the easy way out. Rather than, I'm not saying do that. I'm really not saying do that. What I'm saying, though, is that as a study, absolutely fundamentally proves the fact that if you do something enough times, it becomes something that's habitual. It's like the person who just drives to the gym after work without thinking. All right? That's a behaviour that's inbuilt. That's a patented behaviour of where somebody doesn't go home first. They have the gym kit in the car. They come to the gym because they've done it enough times, over enough weeks, over enough months to know that's the day to train, and that's what they do. And that's where most of us want to build to. If you're struggling with consistency, which I was getting the point onto, this is where you need to do. It's not about changing the habit or changing the behaviour. It's about understanding that it's repeated consistency where you understand that you're not going to see a reward instantly, that the repeated building of the same thing over and over again gives you eventually a result. Just having to hang in there through that awkward, painful, God, this is repetitive moment to actually see the reward and feel the reward. Because often as people also as well, which I find fascinating, is that sometimes it's true, sometimes you have to feel and see the reward to keep doing it. And actually in reverse is the truth. All right? I want to feel the reward before I do it. Do it first and then feel the reward. That's the reality of long-term health and fitness, training, consistent food, wherever it is to see it over and over again. Over and over again. People wait to see the result or the reward before they do something. Like, I'll do it when I see the reward. No, do it, then see it, right? Do the behaviour, do the consistency, and then see it, right? Rather than a reverse. And that's what we do as people. And I'd actually say, Consistency for me is important. If I don't do anything for a day, I feel weird. I need to do something, do some sort of training. The thing is, you do it day in, day out, actually, so you know. You day in, day out without thought. I've done for a long time now. Cast your mind back, though, Dax. What was it like when you first started? Like when it's in the winter, when it's cold, when it's wet, when it's like you still do it. Because it's like, they're like doing the finger, right? It's like the monkey testing the finger. You just do it without thought. Which is where, like, I suppose I bet if you went to the monkey and held their hand, I bet the monkey would freak out, like, whoa, but I've been doing that for 10,000 times. Why have you stopped me doing it? Right? And that's where you're at, Dexter, actually. And that's what we do as humans as well. If you do something enough times over and over again to become part of who you are, like it's a non-thought process, then when we stop doing it, that's when it feels weird. Not when we're doing it, when we stop doing it. When we stop feeling a reward, right? That's how you flip it. And that's where someone with like Daksha, who is so on the nail and on the money consistently with training, will sense that and know it. And sense the difference between getting a reward out of doing something and feeling nothing for doing nothing. That makes sense. Yeah. So don't mind winter training. Like, how many people do we know, or of ourselves, who go, oh, it's cold outside, I don't want to go, oh, no, thank you. Oh, no, thank you. No. Again, the repeated behaviour going over and over and over again means that Daksha don't even think about it. Daksha's like, come wind, come rain, come snow. Never doing it. Because she's in that pattern. Right, the finger tapping. I'm thinking, call that from now. Finger tapping. You just do it without thinking, because you know the repeated behaviour over and over again gives a reward, not the vice versa. I should do a live just on that as well. The whole, which I find fascinating. People want to feel a reward before they do something. They don't do something first to feel it. You have to do something. And most of my role as a coach ultimately is supporting someone into that position to take action. Think about all those weeks and months ago when I talked about the change model and why people change and how they change and how you get yourself into position to change. What's the first bit that actually gets stuff done? Action. All the prep is there, but if you seek to get reward without taking action, you're always not going to get into that from that planning position into action, because you're waiting for the reward. Yeah, see, if it's studio saying action first. It's true, I could do a whole live on that. Why as people do we wait to get a reward, to feel good, to do something again, right? Well, it's true that it happens. The reality is the boredom out of consistency is those people just go, nah, do you know what, I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going because I know I'll get it later. I don't have to feel the reward now to see the result and feel the reward later. I just do it now. So because I used to hate going for walks in the rain, I've now been on a streak this week in the rain. Why are you been on a streak in the rain, Pooja? I mean, I love your consistent behaviour with walking. But again, it's the consistency. It's even that. I'll give Pooja that as a really great example of where people will consistently walk while it's sunny. All right. Like the outdoors has turned into, I joke about it with clients, they're like, somehow the rain has turned into acid because, oh no, I've never walked. It's been a light mist. I'm like, well, hang about, it's consistency. Consistency is where, and a week later say, oh, I didn't lose weight, I don't know why. How many times have you been for a walk? Ooh, again, same thing. They won't say I was bored with walking, so I didn't go. They'll say, oh, I didn't go. 0. So when where does that sit? That's somebody who's waiting for the reward first and then go for a walk. What? Hang on, you're not going to see it until you do it. Do it first. Take the action first, consistently, and then get your reward. I'm not saying you earn it. I'm saying that's how it actually is. Like people, it fascinates me. I think I'm quite passionate about it. Walking in the rain. Oh, that's okay, Coach. I'm just checking because you just say streaking. I'm like, well, if that's what we do in lockdown in Leicester, let's promote that. Can't imagine why it's still spreading. Pooja's just streaking through the street. It's all good. She's fine. She's at 2 meters. Yeah, parents have been dogger. Yeah, but why is that as well, Emma? That's an interesting one. Dog owners walk every day from the moment they have a dog. They don't even think about it. Mainly as a motivation, they don't want to put on the carpet. That is also all Pete, either or. That's a motivation, yes. However, just again, come rain, come shine, you go. It's the study of the finger tapping, right? It's where, and what's interesting is I'm sure it's a bit like Dax was talking about, a bit like I talked, if we got that monkey, we did that experiment on and said, held their hand and said, no, you can't tap your finger. Now I've done it for you 10,000 times. How do you feel? Right, if they said to you, Emma, you're not going to walk for 3 days, you stay indoors now, it would be weird. It would feel unnatural. And this is where people struggle, I think. It feels unnatural to do something. They don't understand if they do it enough times, it feels unnatural to not do it. That's what's fascinating. Ooh. Hell. So I'm just saying, yes, it's stormy now, even if it rains, the towels and mops out ready. Yeah, I know. I do the thing when you get the dogs through the door, but you have to or you've got one. I've only got 3 in the house. If you have to rein them in, Emma, when you come through the door to get the towel, it's just like, no, don't you go into the carpet first. It's true though, you have to. You have to just get prepared. But again, it's the same thing as anything else. Emma, you have a routine, you have a consistent pattern of behaviours, because you've done it enough times to know. Alright. Oh yeah, recap time. So what did I say consistency was? Emma, I will take a photo of the literal tank I've got moved in. It's not a new dog with dog sitting. There's a third dog in the house. It's a tank, Emma. I mean, when she picks up speed, I literally get a bit scared because I don't think she can stop, and I get out of the way. Yes, I've got a 40, 40, 50 and a 70-kilo dog. When she goes. She ain't stopping her. She's got an extendable lead, because when she goes, and I just need time to anchor in. But yeah, I know. She's so big we can't get her into the car. She needs to take a run up. The whole back of the car goes. Big dog. Consistency, what is it? Right, it's something that stays the same. Right? That's consistent. It stays the same. So why, if something stays the same, do we have to have consistency to be successful at a health and fitness goal? Because over time, consistent behaviours release a successful reward overall. But like I said, it's not every day. Yeah, it might be my dog. Not even my dog. It's for now. For the next 6 months. It is. Yeah, it's a big brown thing. I will send you a photo. I'll have to zoom out, obviously, because she's quite big. It's a good thing she's moved in with me. We've got a plan. Consistently, she'll be walked. So what does it do? The same behaviour over and over again, as much as that seems insane. Like, you do the same thing over again? Well, hang on, does that give a change? Well, yes, if it's a repeated, consistent behaviour. So a pattern of behaviours or an action that you take every day that leads to a result. Okay, so you do the same thing every day, a behaviour, and it leads to a successful, consistent result towards health or health and fitness. And why don't we stay consistent? Let's get real. Because we get bored. We get bored. We get bored of being healthy and having healthy behaviours, right? So how do people remain consistent? Those people who seem to have angelic wings and halos and how do they do it? You look at them and go, wow, they're amazing. They're so motivated and driven. No, they just get over the boredom and suck it up. Why? Because either they've done it so many times, like I talked about the whole study with the monkey and the finger getting moved 10,000 times until they couldn't stop doing it. They do it so often that they understand it just becomes automated, right? It becomes automated, but also in the moment of which they get bored and question whether or not they want to do it or need to do it or must do it, they tell themselves or remind themselves of what it feels like long term, right? Again, to repeat, these people don't look in the mirror every day and expect to see a result. They don't expect to get on the scales every day and see a result because it worked out once or they ate one great meal. They know that it's repeated, consistent action of the same behaviour over time that will help them see the result in a few weeks' time or a few months' time. But when you do the before and after, 12 months down the line, they're like, ooh, right? Because they're willing to invest their time and consistency and the finger tapping behaviour over and over again to have that moment in the future. And they know it, right? They know it when they get bored, and the moment like, I don't want to do it. They know, they trust that they will have that because they know the behaviour they select is one that will support them down the line and give them that outcome. And I was going to what to choose, but I don't think like that choosing the thing is the option. Because I was saying at the end, like, what do you do? How are you going to make it more exciting when you're going to suck it up? The reality is that you could change the behaviour. That doesn't mean we remain consistent when you change it. And this is another thing we do as well, right? There were two things I said. We change the behaviour far too often rather than sticking to it and sucking up and understanding that and waiting to see the result. Again, because we want to see the value or feel it before we take action rather than reverse, which is do something and then see how it pays off. But don't just do it once, keep doing it because you know that it works. We know the training works, we know that eating well works. We just get bored of it. Suck it up. Don't throw fireworks into your workout, as I crazily suggested. You suck it up and understand that consistency will always give you what you want if you give time to it, right? And that's me done. So consistently enjoy your Friday evening, whatever you're intending to do. I did think it was a gut health one tonight. It is tomorrow, which is good because I got a lot of notes on that one. So it's when things go wrong with digestion tomorrow. Answers on a postcard for that one. In the meantime, enjoy your evening, and wherever you're going, Kate, in Badrum in Turkey this evening, enjoy, and I will catch you tomorrow.